Morning, everybody. Today, I've been studying in Genesis chapter 20, and what was interesting today was I've always thought it was interesting that the one thing that the enemy loves to convince us of is that nobody believes in us. A lot of people have this belief that kind of a depressing belief that nobody believes in us, or that nobody believes in me, or that I'll never amount to anything. I've heard a lot of that, and I will say that that's the enemy, and I can prove it to you. You see, the Son of God came here on earth to teach us how to spread the gospel. Well, think about that for a second. He left the story of the gospel, he left it in our hands to make sure that it spread throughout the globe. Morning, guys. And if his plan is for us to spread it throughout the globe, then he has to have a certain amount of faith in us, or a belief in us, that we will be able to accomplish those things that he sends us out to do. We are supposed to spread his word. So think about that for a second. The Son of God, the God that created this universe, believes in you. He has a calling on your life, and he believes in you to be able to fulfill it. And that's pretty big. I don't think people respect that as much as they should. And I'll give you an indication of, even when you think you fail, God still believes that you can carry out those things he's called you to do. He equips you to do those things. If you look in the story where Abraham is with Sarah, and Abimelech takes Sarah as his wife, because Abraham tells Sarah, "Tell everybody you're my sister," which is technically true in those days. She was a cousin, and so technically she was his sister. And so when Abimelech took her to be his wife, he didn't know that she was actually Abraham's wife. And God quickly stopped anything from happening, and says to Abimelech, "Hey, that's Abraham's wife. Don't be doing anything with her." What's really kind of interesting is, then he says of Abraham is a prophet, and he will pray for you. Now think about that for a second, where Abimelech is at. Abimelech knows that Abraham did not tell him the truth, or did not tell him the whole truth, and therefore is committed a lie of omission. And he knows now the integrity of Abraham's word is not such that he could trust him. And yet, God says of Abraham, he's a prophet, and he will pray for you. Even though Abraham slipped up, even though Abraham could have done a better job, God backs him up and says, he's a prophet, and he will pray for you. It's not an encouragement for us to go out there and slip up, or not for us to go out there and commit lies of omission, but at the same time, know that God believes in you. Even if you make a mistake, even if you do have a problem where you step out of line, God still has a calling on your life, and you need to step away from those times when you do commit those lies of omission, or you commit those sins that you shouldn't be committing. What I think is really interesting is that I've always heard it said that you had to be righteous back before Christ to be saved. But I would tell you that Paul says this as well, that Abraham was considered righteous because of his belief, or because of his faith. We are saved by our faith in God. He had faith in God enough to go where God told him to go. I would say this: when you place your faith in him, he will put his belief in you and his word in you, that you can carry out the mission that he put before you. And you can change the world literally just because God will guide you into doing so. Are you ready to accept that commission? That's what God gave me today. God bless you guys. Love you.